Have you made any art goals for the new year? I thought it would be fun if you, me, and Spec hang out today and talk about our art goals, our art making. Yesterday, I went to a little art and snack hangout with some new friends, and we just talked about what we're currently working on. We gave each other a little bit of critique, and it just left me feeling so inspired, so I wanted to do the same thing with you. It was my first time going to this group, and I wasn't really sure what art I should bring, so I just brought my sketchbook. I flipped through all my pages and gave everyone a little sketchbook tour. Flipping through my sketchbook, I just felt like surprised that I had done this much this year. And a lot of times when I'm drawing in here, I feel like I'm just drawing random stuff. But when I was going through this with other people and talking about it, I felt like really personal connections to my drawings. Like a lot of the things that I'm drawing are my grandparents' objects. I felt like proud to show those things and sentimental about them, which just made me feel like reassured that I'm drawing the right things. This painting stood out when I was showing everyone. It's one that I painted and then haven't really looked back on since, but it's actually a pretty significant painting in my sketchbook because I painted this while my grandpa was sick. We were taking care of him, and these are the flowers that my mom picked from outside. My grandma loved cardinals. We have the room like filled with cardinal stuff. This is actually like a little cardinal plate that was in the room, but like it was more about just making something to like be in that room and spend time with my grandpa. Looking at it again a few months later, I feel like another appreciation for this painting. I haven't finished this sketchbook yet, but going back through the pages, I noticed like I was making a lot of drawings in here when my grandpa was sick because it was like one of the only things I could do. And then after he passed away, I kind of stopped. But the way that I got back into it was by using it as like a place to store inspiration. So I went to this museum and I cut out things that I liked there, and then I drew things that I liked. I went to the quilt show at the Smithsonian in DC, and I just pasted all the quilts in here, and this was such a nice process because I didn't have to think about like what to draw or how to draw or anything. It was very therapeutic because I just had all these pictures from the quilt show and I printed them and cut them out and glued them in, and it was just such a mindless process. It felt really satisfying because I was filling up my sketchbook pages with things that I like to look at. Recently in here, I've been trying to sketch people. I've been trying to figure out a way that I want to draw people in my style, in my own little like creative universe, because I've kind of avoided drawing people for a really long time. I really like drawing from memory, and I was thinking back to this drawing that I did. It was my favorite drawing when I was little. Like I was probably like 9 or 10 when I drew this picture. It was like fairyland. So it had one big hill and then like 2 little hills in the background, a small castle on top of the hill, and then these fairies. I did a lot of like triangle dresses when I was little. The fairies were just like not in scale to anything else in the drawing, but I loved it. I colored it in with colored pencil. I'm just now trying to get back to that point of like having so much fun drawing from my imagination, creating that universe. I feel like sometimes I just want my universe to include people, but I want it to look really cute. So that's what I've been working on in my sketchbook. And then I also recently got the Himi gouache set. I'm really liking it, especially for my sketchbook. Here's my little test page right now. It is like student grade gouache, so I probably wouldn't make finished paintings with it, but for my sketchbook it's so perfect because a lot of times I want to paint, but I hate squeezing the paint out of the tube onto a palette. I don't really like making the decision of like what colors I want to use, and it's just a lot of setup and stuff. So I love how these jelly paints are just like ready to go. It's just super easy. Like it removes one more step of decision that I have to make when I'm making art. And then in my little like plan to draw more people, I drew myself, and around myself I listed some other art and craft projects that I want to do because the other day I was just feeling like so many ideas, but I wasn't sure where to start in that moment. So I just wrote them in my drawing. I wanted to try my new gouache. I did that. I have this other project that I want to do. So I'm taking a sewing class right now, and that's been a huge part of my creative motivation. I feel like having some sort of craft hobby outside of painting and drawing, because that's what I consider my practice to be, is just like so motivating because it gets my hands moving, gets me creating, but just in a different way. So anyway, I have this project that I want to make. I want to make this tote bag, and my plan is to paint the fabric once I have the pattern pieces cut out so that I can be very specific with like the placements of my design. I want the bag to be plaid. I've been super into plaid. As you can see, I was doing a lot of plaid stuff. I just think it would be so cute cute on a bag to have those hand painted lines, and I can customize the colors and everything. The bag has like different panels and stuff, kind of different surfaces, so I could do different color combinations or different sized plaids. And painting on fabric is something that I've never done. I feel like it's just gonna open whole new craft ideas for me. And then also on my list is to start a scrapbook. Doing this type of thing in here is what really made me want to start a scrapbook, along with the book Memory Collecting by Martina Calvi. And I actually bought a humongous moleskin sketchbook, the sketchbook art paper, so it's thicker, which I think will be perfect for a scrapbook. I feel like scrapbooks are typically a little bit oversized. I just got some beautiful handmade patterned paper so that I can use that in like the background of my scrapbook pages. And I want the scrapbook to be like a combination of documenting my life and just things that I find inspiring, like those museum pages. So scrapbooking. I've also been knitting. I was working on a sweater, but I'm taking a little break from it because the cuff sleeves frustrated me. I don't really like doing the double pointed needles, and I made the one sleeve too long. So now I feel like I need to rip that back, make it shorter, which I'm just not super excited about. But I really want to finish it because it's like a pink, super soft sweater, and a lot of times when I'm getting dressed, I want to wear it, but I can't because it's not finished. And then I started a quilt a while ago, sewing a quilt. I've just been having so many other projects and stuff that I haven't been working on the quilt, but I need to because now I have other ideas for other quilts. I'm a little bit all over the place, but I would much rather feel like this than like in an art block or something. And I feel like part of the reason that I feel like this is because I'm doing different crafts and stuff. So yeah, my art goals for the new year, I want to figure out a way to draw people. And in order to do that, I think I just need to keep sketching as much as possible. I've also been like exclusively drawing and painting in my sketchbook. And although that's great, I haven't made like a finished piece of artwork on canvas or a piece of paper, like a loose piece of paper, in a really long time. So I think breaking out of my sketchbook would be another good goal for the new year. But I do think it would be fun if I did a few like sketchbook challenges in the new year. I would love if I finished all of my unfinished sketchbooks because there's a lot of them. And I also just want to keep improving on all the crafts I'm learning. Like in my sewing class right now, our next project is going to be to make a quilted jacket, and I'm really excited about that. I have a quilt that I want to turn into a jacket, and I just think it'll be so cozy to wear. But I'm also going to learn so many more techniques by making that because I've never made anything with sleeves. And to get going on the scrapbook, I really just need to start taking more pictures. I feel like in college, I was in a super good habit of taking pictures whenever something was cool or inspiring, and I've just kind of gotten out of that. Just lots of ideas, and sometimes when I have too many ideas, I just don't do any of them because I can't choose what to work on in the moment. Making the list like I did has been super helpful because then I don't have to keep cycling through and like not being able to decide. I can just pick one and know that the list is there for me to choose from. I can work on something else later. I would say that 2024 has been the most art making that I've done in a while since graduation, because I went to school for illustration where I was making so much art all the time that I feel like once I graduated, I kind of just stopped making art for fun, and now it's getting fun again. So I'm feeling really happy about that. So let me know in the comments what stuff you want to make coming up in the new year. Even tell me about a project that you've been stuck on and we can help each other work it out in the comments. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye!